Join me today in this masterclass where I show you how to make choux pastry with various fillings. Starting with cream puffs filled with diplomat cream, choux swans with chantilly cream, and zeppole filled with pastry cream to celebrate St. Joseph's Day tomorrow. I'm Kat, owner of Charmin Chic Baking, and welcome to my channel. Stir up your ingredients with the quantities listed below in the description, and let's start by making the pastry cream. This is a stabilized cream that will not be runny and will hold up well in all types of desserts. We're going to start by adding the gelatin to cold water and letting it absorb into a sponge-like consistency. You can omit the gelatin, but I find that it does add to stabilize the pastry cream and gives it a nice thick consistency that's not runny. Next, add the egg yolks to a bowl. Then add the granulated sugar, the cornstarch, and whisk everything until creamy. Creaming this together stabilizes the eggs so that it won't curdle while cooking in the milk. Next, heat the milk in a medium pot. Add the egg mixture and stir constantly with a wire whisk, getting into the edges and the bottom of the pot to prevent burning. As the mixture thickens, lower the heat. Then add the gelatin mixture that's been warmed up for about 10 seconds. Continue stirring while the cream thickens up. Once the cream is thick, strain it into a fine mesh sieve. Notice the bottom of my pot is clean and there's no burnt cream or curdled egg pieces. It's smooth and creamy, but I still pass it through the sieve to make it even smoother. Scrape the bottom of the sieve to get everything out. Notice the cream is smooth and lump-free. Next, add the butter and stir until well melted. Finally, add the vanilla extract and mix well. Cover the cream with plastic wrap and press it directly onto the cream to prevent skin from forming. Then keep this refrigerated until ready to use. we're going to make the choux pastry, which is a relatively easy pastry to make that doesn't require any leavening agents. However, professional bakers will use a pinch of ammonium bicarbonate to give it a light and crisp texture. You can omit this if you'd like with good results. In a medium bowl, combine the bread flour and tipo 00 flour with the salt. If you don't have tipo 00, you can use cake and pastry flour. This combination gives the best results for crispy choux pastry as opposed to using all-purpose flour alone. In a medium pot, combine the water and unsalted butter. Heat the mixture and stir until the butter is melted. Now you want to bring this mixture to a rolling boil before adding the flour mixture. Dump in the flour mixture all at once, lower the heat, then mix quickly with a wooden spoon. Once the flour is incorporated, continue to mix for an additional 2 minutes to cook off some of the flour. It's going to look like Play-Doh or thick mashed potatoes. Notice the pastry doesn't have any sugar because we're basically making shells to fill with the cream so that the sugar fix comes from there. Then remove the mixture from the heat and continue to mix and remove any flour lumps by pressing it against the pot. Next, add it to your stand mixer if using. Release some of the steam by mixing it with your paddle attachment for only 10 seconds. After 10 minutes, repeat by releasing some steam. The mixture should cool in about 30 minutes total. Once the mixture has cooled down, add 2 egg yolks at a time and beat until well incorporated. If you're using the ammonium bicarbonate, you can then add it after the first 2 eggs. Then add another 2 eggs at a time and continue to mix well after each addition. Add another 2 eggs and you'll be left with 2. However, depending on your mixture, you may need only 1 more. Scrape the bottom and sides before adding the last 1 or 2 eggs. I'm adding 1 egg for now, then we'll check the consistency of the pastry. It looks good with soft peaks, so I won't be adding that last egg as it'll make the choux too soft. You want the choux to be soft enough to pipe while still holding its shape. I'm going to start by piping the shells for the zeppole. I added a large star tip, a deco number 828 to my piping bag and made a 2.5-inch circle template. Add a little pastry to the corners of the parchment paper to keep it down. Pipe with even pressure. I'm going to make 12 zeppole as I'll be using the rest of the choux pastry to make cream puffs and choux swans. If you're making only zeppole, this quantity will be able to make 24 shells. Then stick the ends together with a little water so that they don't open up during baking. Bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for 25 minutes on the bottom rack only. You can spray the inside of your oven with some water to create some steam. If baking more than one sheet at a time, you'll need to bake them separately as convention baking won't yield good results, as the heat does need to come from the bottom. Here we have perfect golden shells. Next, I'm going to pipe 1-inch balls for the cream puffs. I'm eyeballing the size, but you can use a template to help out. Don't worry about the peaks as we'll fix them later. I'm piping 2 dozen cream puffs, or as they say in French, beignets or profiteroles. Dab the tips of the cream puffs with a little water and flatten. We're going to make the body of the swans with the same tip used for the zeppole and pipe large shells. I'm going to show you how to fix a mistake that I made at the end. To fix a mistake, just scrape it off. Just scrape it off and add it back to your bowl. Then just pipe right over. For the swan necks, use a tip number 5 and pipe question marks. Bake these at 425 degrees Fahrenheit on the bottom rack for about 20 minutes or until golden brown. The swan necks will be a little bit darker, but that's okay. Once the cream puffs and swans are baked, poke holes at the bottom and then place them back in the oven with the heat off to dry out the shells so that they're crispy both inside and out. Chantilly cream is basically sweetened whipped cream with a little bit of vanilla and is easy to make. You can either use a stand mixer or a handheld mixer. So to make the chantilly cream, beat together the cream, icing sugar, and vanilla until thick for about 3 minutes, and then keep it refrigerated until required. Remove the pastry cream from the fridge. You'll notice it's thick, jello-like pudding consistency. We're going to whip it up to lighten it and make it creamy smooth with a hand or stand mixer. We'll be using this for both the cream puffs to make the diplomat cream and for the zeppole on its own. Now we're going to make the diplomat cream. With a spatula, fold together the pastry cream and chantilly in a 1-to-1 ratio. You can also use 2 parts pastry cream to 1 part chantilly to make it a little thicker if you'd like. To fill the cream puffs, use a diplomat cream in a pastry bag fitted with a long tip called Wilton No. 230 Bismarck and start by poking a larger hole at the bottom of the cream puff. Then squeeze and fill until it feels heavy and the cream starts coming out. Melt a half cup of dark chocolate and add half a tablespoon of corn syrup to make it smooth and glossy. Then dip the top of the cream puffs in the chocolate mixture. Dust the cream puffs with icing sugar and voila! It's taste test time! Look how perfectly filled they are. The shells are crispy and the diplomat cream is divine. The combination with the chocolate is just heavenly. Now onto the choux swans. We're going to cut the body in half and then cut the top half in half again for the wings. If you'd like, you can shape the beak a little with a paring knife. Fill the bottom half of the body with chantilly cream, then place the swan neck and wings over top. It's that easy. Dust with icing sugar for beautiful swans. These Choux swans deserve to be placed on a pedestal. Finally, we're going to fill the zeppole. Zeppole shells freeze well. Just bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 minutes from frozen. Cut each in half, then fill with the pastry cream. I'm just using a spoon, but you can fill with a pastry bag as well. You can also use a diplomat cream for lighter filling. I'm using amarena cherries as its traditional filling, but just 3 cut in half for the inside, as these cherries are pretty pricey. Another variation is to fry the shells, but fried shells don't store well and need to be eaten the same day. You can also fill the zeppole with ricotta cream like cannoli cream, or add nut butters to your pastry cream like hazelnut or pistachio. The possibilities are endless. Dust the top of the zeppole shells with icing sugar. Then add more cream to the top. I normally use a pastry bag with a star attachment for a more polished look, but for sake of time, I'm just adding it with a spoon. Finally, finish off with whole amarena cherries for traditional zeppole. Let's open one of these up. Well, what can I say? These are absolutely delicious. I love the combination of the slightly sweet and the tart with the crispy shells and the smooth, rich pastry cream. I hope you enjoyed this masterclass on choux pastry and pastry cream. I hope you get to make these zeppole, choux swans, and cream puffs, and happy St. Joseph's for all of those who are celebrating.